Again, first of all, thank you for letting me be in your scenes. That was very nice of you. And I know you've told me now that I did not end up on the cutting room floor, that I'm in a whole 6 seconds. Woohoo!
Yeah, about that, more or less.
But there I am. And of course, I'm singing, so the whole world now knows how terrible my voice is. And like the thing I hate doing most is karaoke. And there I am on screen doing karaoke. Great. But thank you for letting me be in your scenes, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I was also surprised with how much stuff we shot that did not end up in the film.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, at least they have you running, because you spend a lot of time running.
Spent an entire day doing the running scenes, and it's like 1 minute of the film.
I know. Well, you probably burned like 800 calories that day.
Yeah.
All of the 6 spirits in the forest were chosen from the takeoverees, from the Facebook takeover, as we call ourselves. What was the best part of the takeover experience itself?
For me, the best part of the takeover as a whole was going to the show. To the show where they debuted the album. It happened to be like the day before we were supposed to publish our posts anyway. But as a bonus, with the takeover, they gave me, and they gave you as well, tickets for the show here in Berlin on Friday the 17th of March 2017. Yeah. Because other than that, there was no plan. I didn't know what to do for the takeover, what to write. There was no one else wrote before me, only you, and I was supposed to hand in my posts also at the same time as you. So didn't know what to expect at all from the takeover. At least the show was really, really nice to go. It was exclusive.
Yeah, and you were headbanging a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where in the takeover, I know we met while the takeover was still going on. I'm trying to remember how soon afterwards we met, because we only lived a few blocks from each other, so we met at that coffee shop outside. We sat on the picnic benches.
I don't remember right now, but if it was just a few weeks or a few days, just a few weeks after, I think. Not very long.
And there was another woman from Berlin who I contacted, and she was like, "Yeah, let's all meet up." And I was trying to get the 3 of us to meet up, and then we never did. I don't remember who she was, but she just kind of disappeared. I don't know where she went. But so describe the initial reaction when you got the email about the film.
Like always, all these emails arrive in Pacific time, which means it's usually when I'm about to go to bed. And then I got the email. I opened my email by chance, I guess, on the evening. It was Thursday evening. And then I got the email saying, "Hey, we want to kick off the Facebook with you, and you're going to the concert and everything." And I was like, oh my God, I was so overhyped. I think I couldn't sleep until 1 o'clock in the morning, until everything settled down. I was very, very, very hyped with that email.
I bet. Yeah. That was just really cool. And then, I know that you didn't get information about it for a long time. You didn't even know what they were going to be doing, what it was about. And so how did that unfold? How did you finally find out, what they were going to be doing, or what you were going to be doing in the film?
Yeah, the film thing, they were always teasing us with there's more to come. There are more surprises in store. It's not over yet. And one day, I think it was April, last year, an email came saying Depeche Mode film opportunity. And it didn't say much either. It just asked if I was interested in participating in a film that was about the fans. And I said, okay. And I thought, it's probably an extra on the DVD. It's going to be 20, 30-minute thing. It's not going to be... it's just I think it's just going to be something very, very, very small. And a few days before I was about to shoot, the other fans, actually at least Dick and Liz, Christian and Karin, they found me and they sent a message like, "You, if you know what this is about, then you're the right person." Something very cryptic like that. And in the end, they were the other 4 fans that had been filmed already. Indra had also been filmed, but we didn't find her yet. I hadn't found her at the time yet. And in those few days between them finding me and my shooting, we got to exchange information, and I got to, we put the pieces together, and then that's when we started to realize how big this was. It was not going to be just a small documentary, a small feature, and bonus on the DVD. It was going to be at least as big as the concert itself. It was going to be a feature film.
So, were there any things like they had you running, as we talked about, like up and down and all this stuff? Did you know what they were going to be asking you? Were there any like surprises during filming, like that you weren't like, why are they doing this or what have you?
Not many surprises. We had a Skype call also ahead of shooting, where we went over some of the subjects, and when they interviewed me, they pretty much made the same questions again, this time on camera. I'd say the karaoke was the biggest surprise. I mean, they just asked me a list of places that I like to hang out, a list of places in my neighborhood. And in the end, we ended up filming lots of places all over Berlin, not just here in Alberg. And the karaoke thing was something that, it was on there. They sent me an email, I think, just a few days ahead of shooting, asking for recommendations of places. The bar, for example, was the place I said. I suggested another place. I suggested the Bad Fish, right?
Yeah, my friend's bar.
But they went with that Das Hotel, which they somehow managed to get authorization to film there. Karaoke, I said Monster Ichiban, and that worked out fine. But they just went there. They knocked, "Can we film here?" And they said, "Yeah, just come before we open, and we can film here." That was surprisingly easy. But the very idea of filming a karaoke was something that they told me just just a few days before, when they asked me places to film. And then we went scouting on a Friday, yeah.
And so do you feel prepared for everything, or were you caught off guard for anything they did?
Believe it or not, one thing that I was caught off guard was with my wardrobe, because I have lots of shirts with everything stamped, lots of band shirts and everything, and they wanted something very sober and just solid, black, if possible, just that. And the best shirt they could find was a Depeche Mode shirt. A very old one I wouldn't use actually to go outside. It's one I would use to sleep, to go to bed. That's the one I'm seeing on the film using most of the time. At one point they were okay with a Nine Inch Nails shirt, but I don't think that made it. That I was caught off guard with that, believe it or not.
Talk about the day they had you running back and forth under the train tracks where they shot, where Everything Counts, the video was shot. I remember it was hot and I felt so bad watching you running and sweating, and they were chasing you like with what do they call it? The camera rickshaw or something like that.
Yeah, that entire day was made up of a short interview at home. Actually, most of the interview was done on the first day at home. And then the rest was running first we spent hours just filming me running back and forth here at the blind tunnel, which is just 50 meters. So it meant some 6 or 7 takes going back and forth all the time. We spent a lot of time doing that because for every take they would do the playback, check how it was, and see what they could do better, and do it again and again and again. And for such a small, such a short space, and it took such a long time. From there, we went to Kreuzberg to shoot me running after the rickshaw, but not looking at the camera. They also didn't say for how long. They just said, keep running. And didn't say for how long. At one point, I was really, really getting tired, and they didn't stop.
And it was really hot. That was one of the hottest days of the year.
Those were the hottest days of the year. I think the concert, the last concert was the hottest day of the year, I think, at all. I think 33, 35 degrees Celsius. And after running after the rickshaw, then came they calculated the daylight at least. So they wanted to film me under the elevated subway, the U-Bahn, exactly when the sun was setting, so they could get that light that you see in the film. And I think that was already, I don't know, 8 o'clock. That was also a couple of back and forth a few times, but not even as many as that short thing on the tunnel. that took longer. And after that, there was even one extra part which didn't make it, which is me running on a treadmill in what's supposed to be a gym, but it's actually the sister hotel of the hotel they were staying at, which just happened to have a treadmill on the corner facing the street, and it was full of windows, and they just filmed me from the street without having to ask anyone.
I remember you telling me about that. And you shot all this just a couple days before the concert and before the other 5 of them flew into Berlin. So this was like, I think we shot the karaoke scene the day before the first concert, right?
Yeah, on a Sunday.
Yeah. So Sunday we did the karaoke. Saturday you were running. Sunday was karaoke and the bar. And then Monday was the concert.
There was still a little bit more shooting. In the end, every day we started doing something at home. In the end, it was supposed to be only the first day. It happened on every day we started shooting something at home. You know, most of the interview was on the first day, but there were other parts shot on Sunday and Monday. And they also wanted to film me walking with Bismarck, and for that they chose a place nearby. They asked me, "You're going to the concert, the first concert?" I said, "Yes." So, what time do you? Must you finish? Must we wrap up? I said, I want to leave at around 5, so be prepared to finish sometime up before that, so I have enough time to get ready to go. And after filming more in my apartment, we went to Platz, which really close. It's the end of the Mauerpark, and we just filmed some silent scenes with me and Bismarck, which did not make the cut. But yeah, that was also their hard rap as well. I think the entire crew was there because I think they divided themselves to film at the same time in the other cities, but they all met together for Berlin. So it was also their hard rap around 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that Monday of the first show. So after that, I went home to get ready to go to the show.
And the day that we shot the hotel, I think, was that the day I came over to your place and they were shooting and I was trying to keep Bismarck from going in the shots? Was that Sunday also?
It could have been. I think it was, because then we went to the hotel together, probably.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, yeah, because then we got in the van and then we went to the bar and then we went to that was that morning. That's right.
They needed to record silence. They needed to record like I don't know, 30 seconds, 1 minute of silence, of ambient sound.
Oh yeah, and I was trying to keep him steady because his nails were clicking on the floor, and he was like getting all excited. And because we were upstairs, you were downstairs, and you could hear with the the sound going down. That's right. He's such a good nephew. I love my little boy. I miss him. I miss you guys a lot. I actually have been having dreams about Berlin, and I want to go back, and hopefully I can get all that sorted out so I can come back for a visit at some point. Then, so after that, so we went to the concert. Thank you for saving me a place on the floor. Because I was having that ticket fiasco, if you remember, where I didn't even have tickets. I had ordered the tickets months ahead of time and they hadn't come. They sent me the wrong tickets. And thank you for your help with that. That was just so ridiculous. We went to the concert. Then the next day we had the takeover meetup at Hotel Ultra, Mo's place. And then we had the dinner at the Italian restaurant right next to Hansa Studios. Then went to the Hansa party, which was a lot of fun. I don't remember even staying that late, though.
No, I was exhausted already because, again, I had to be at 10 a.m. in the morning with Anton already on the day of the second show. So, yeah, it was 6 days in a row that just blurred together for me.
Yeah, and then we had the final concert that Wednesday, and yeah, that was it. What was it like when did you first meet all the others in person?
I think it was on Tuesday morning, because they said, well, you don't get to get a plane ticket to go to Berlin because you're already there, but you get to stay in the hotel, which is something that is helpful for logistics and everything. So it's nice that you stay with us, which was in fact really nice because it was a very good hotel. They had a great breakfast. So I checked in as soon as possible, I think, very early. And I soon met Dick and Liz. I think Christian was already there. I think he arrived earlier for the first show already. And I think Indra arrived sometime later. We were all in the hotel restaurant just talking, and they were just arriving, and the kids were there too, of course. So at one point it was just one big table with all of us.
And what was it like to finally meet in person?
It was great because we didn't talk about what we did or what we didn't do, how were our shootings or anything like that. But we were all very excited, and like we did on the online chat thing, but we're all trying to piece together what we knew, trying to find out how big was this and how big was our part in all of this. And we only had clues, actually. Not even meeting in person, we could find everything out. But yeah, we talked a little bit about what we did, but still, yeah, the biggest surprise was until we finally saw the film. But it was great to meet them in person, especially Dickon, because I guess he's the most famous one of all of us. I got to finally tell Dickon that I learned Spanish because of him.
Really? That's why you learned Spanish?
It's a long story, but I had a relationship with Dickon before he was famous. He worked for MTV Latin. Back when I used to watch MTV Latin in the late 90s, I used to have it on cable, on satellite at the time. And MTV Latin was so much better than MTV Brazil. It was based in Miami, but it was all in Spanish for the rest of Latin America. MTV Brazil instead was more like a franchise. It was a Brazilian media company, a media group that had a contract so they could use the logo and everything. But they could only show the videos that the record labels would send them, and they had to, comply with each label, how each label wanted to promote each artist. So sometimes videos would premiere like 6 months later than they would everywhere else. And now I had two MTVs to compare. And MTV Latin followed everything that MTV US did. So the videos would premiere like months ahead than on MTV Brazil. And it was so much fun. And he was producer, and yeah, he was a producer for MTV Latin at that time. And
when was this? Like what year approximately?
96 until, I don't know, early 2000s. And then switched to VH1, which also was, I think they also replaced MTV Latin with VH1 at the time. And he was also responsible for making all these funny sketches. I think he put some of them on his YouTube channel. There's one where he made, he got a video from the Spice Girls and just resynced everything in that martyr style to have them singing a Spanish song, a Chilean song called Gracias a la Vida. It's hilarious.
So that's why you learned Spanish?
Yeah, because I started watching that MTV Latin a lot. And the hosts were from Argentina or Mexico, most of them. And not only were the international artists premiering first on MTV Latin, there were also the local Latin artists that they would show a lot. And I ended up learning like Café Tacuba, Aterciopelados, La Ley, Los Fabulosos Cadillacs. And yeah, and there was so much Spanish. I ended up learning Spanish like that from watching television.
It's a good way to learn a language. I used to practice German by watching movies I knew really well in English already, so I didn't have to know what was going on, and then watching it in German. It's like I watched Jaws in German, and it was kind of, and also Dirty Dancing. And I remember that one was funny because the iconic line, "Nobody puts baby in a corner," the way they said it in German was actually "baby belongs to me." It didn't even make sense. Like, that's like the opposite of what he's trying to say. Like, it really made it, like, change the whole meaning of what he was saying. And I was like, that's bad. But at least I understood it. I was like so proud, like, oh, I understood what he said. So, yeah, I watched a lot of movies like that just because I knew what everybody was saying. And so I totally understand why watching TV can be a good way to learn another language. Now, you're always so well prepared that you always think, you're always like, no, you are. You're always thinking so far ahead. Like you're whip smart. That's why UV and I call you Siri. Because it's like, if we can't find the answer on Google, we ask you. Like, I don't remember what I asked you the other day. I asked you something, but I was like, I can't find the answer to this. And so I said, so Siri, please tell me. But anyway, you're well prepared. You think ahead. You were thought far enough ahead where you brought a Polaroid camera with you so that Anton could take pictures. Yeah. A famous picture that you have now.
Yeah, it's actually in an envelope right here. It's here. Yeah. They gave me a thank you card, and on the same envelope I kept all the pictures. So I started taking pictures of everyone that day. Indra, I don't know if you can see. This is mine already, so I'll put it in the last. Dick and Skits. Christian trying to look very serious. Karim, very exhausted from the heat already. Liz, very happy. Anton himself, I took this at night already, so it's very dark. And at one point, I turned to Anton and I said, I heard you're good with cameras. Can you take a picture for me? And I gave him the camera. And he took the picture. And he didn't even realize it was actually an Instax. So, the Polaroid from Fuji. And when the picture came out, he was like, oh, it's an instant camera. And good thing that the picture came out good. Or else I would have to ask him again. He was actually super busy that day. He gave us some attention in the beginning. Then he filmed the fans arriving and Deacon playing with his kids. But after that, he was totally concerned with filming the show. So I didn't have much time to to ask him to do stuff for us. And that was it. He gave us, when we arrived, Kessler came talk to us to thank us and everything and welcome us. And then Anton took us to the stage through the infamous Hitler hallway. It's just a very narrow and curvy passage. According to Anton, Hitler built it so he could, so he would be less vulnerable to someone trying to shoot him. That was the idea, and that stayed somehow until today. And that's the way to the stage, actually. And we were just given this, I don't know, 10 minutes to see the stage from the stage itself. It was not that impressive, to be honest. But that was actually the moment I took the picture of almost everyone. And when we were clearing the stage, I turned to Anton and gave him the camera and asked him to take my picture. Yeah.
So on the poster, there's 6 creepy-looking figures, some spirits on there. Which one is you? Which of the 6 are you?
I think when the poster came out, we made some stupid joke where we would choose which one we would be. I think I was one of the big-headed ones. I don't know which one. But yeah, we tried to ignore that poster. It wasn't really Anton's finest moment. I think even the movie title is not really that great.
I know. It's grown on me, but I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, I know why they chose it. You know, Global Spirit Tour, and it's the Waldbühne, the forest stage, but it's, come on.
Yeah, it's like, what's the first thing you can think of? It's a movie about a band on tour. They're touring an album called Spirits. We're going to show 6 people, and the show is in a stage in a forest, and that's probably what the first thing that must have come to mind. It's the first.
Yeah, I think they kind of gave up at that point. They kind of just went, you know. But I have to say that finding titles for things whenever I'm writing, that's usually the hardest thing, just to come up with something nice and succinct and that means something. So I get it, but it's, I don't know. I probably would have chose something else.
I would have picked something like I did for my own blog. That lyric from Shake the Disease, in Spirit, I'll be there.
Excellent. Yeah, that's...
Like, just adapt it a little bit, like, these spirits will be there or something. I don't know. They could work on that. It would have been much nicer than Spirits in the Forest.
In Spirit. I like that.
Yeah.
In Spirit. It's simple, and it means something, and it's also a lyric. I mean, or they could have chosen a lyric from the album. I mean, that would have just... I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. We're stuck with it.
Forest would have been better, seriously. Revolution in the Forest.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been, I don't know. But, hey, we have it. That's what it is. Oh, well. Yeah. Some people are calling, or people who haven't seen it are thinking that it's going to be 101 Part 2. But that's not what it is. How is it different than 101?
That was also my concern. When the day we met for location scouting, they were very clear. This is not going to be another 101. Pasquale, he mentioned his sister was a very big fan. So he knew more or less what the fans wanted and what the fans did not want to see. And he knew about 101, he said. Even Anton, last 2 weeks ago in London, he said, 101, it's just the band in America and fans following around. There's not much about the fans to show, except they're in the bus, period. And this time, we wanted to tell their stories. So as soon as they cleared out that it was not going to be another one-on-one, and I filmed my parts, yeah, it came together that it was going to be about our stories, and they wanted to focus on particular moments of our stories and of our lives, and how the Depeche Mode falls together with everything. And that's totally not what one-on-one is.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, I like, from what I understand, I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it on Thursday here in Miami, and yeah, from what I understand, it's nothing like that. I mean, you I know you all have seen it now. Has Indra been able to see it? I know that she doesn't always have internet where she is.
I think yes. I think she must have been the first to see it, because she was she wakes up earlier than all of us.
Oh, okay, that's why. Okay.
But we had a link to watch it. I only watched once, actually, through the link. My connection was not that great. It was always buffering. Always when the band wasn't on stage, it was buffering. It gave me the impression that, oh my God, it's too much of the band in the film. So long. They could have put less of the band, and then I would get stoned on the street, of course. But then when I started in London without the buffering problems, I realized that actually there's not that much of the band. I think they managed to find a good balance, something around 30 to 40, maybe 50%, if I'm being very generous, of the film is the band performing. But you only see, no spoilers, but you only see the band on stage performing. There's no backstage anything. There's no out showing how to play. In fact, that's not in this film.
And how did you feel the first time you saw the film?
The first time I saw it, I was very, very, very anxious to see how I was portrayed in the film, of course. And after I saw that, and I was a little bit more relieved, okay, then the second time was actually more moving, because then I couldn't care about my parts anymore. I already knew what was there, and I paid more attention to what my 5 colleagues had to say. And maybe it's me just over-analyzing everything, but every little bit of what they say I could relate to. And I didn't divorce like Deacon, so I don't have that experience and that connection that he has with the song Precious. And but that was very touching. Karin's story is very touching. Liz's story is very touching. Everything, even Christian telling how it was Romania in the 80s. There's also a part where I talk about how Brazil was in the 80s, and even though we were on opposite sides of the Iron Curtain, life was pretty bad for both of us, being satellite states in the Cold War in the 80s.
So are you happy with the way you came out on screen, or was there anything that you didn't like, the way you're portrayed?
Oh my God, I think people are going to find defects anyway. They're going to find something to complain about. There's a part where I mentioned, at least they decided to put that in the film, where I mentioned I'm not a typical carioca, which is a person from Rio. And they made it, I even met the person who edited the sound, who mastered, mixed all the sound, and they said they worked on like 5-6 months on our voices, making sure they would edit everything. So this was probably something that they added together, where I say, I'm not a typical carioca, a person from Rio. And I think in that moment, switch, you don't see, it's not the image of me being interviewed, it's me running quickly. So you cannot notice the sound editing, probably. That's just from what I remember. I think it's like that. And they put that together with me saying that I didn't see myself living there for the rest of my life. I talk about economy and that made it into the film somehow. Anyway, that's what they picked. Please, that was a buffering problem again with my connection. Can you repeat?
Oh, was there anything that didn't make it in the film that you wish they had put in?
Maybe more running.
Make use of that.
I wish there was more of the parts that we did in the karaoke and in the bar. It's really, really short. Believe me. If you wait, you're gonna miss it. I'm happy that an idea that I had, it was my phone, sorry, an idea that I had, which was to go visit the fans that were camped outside. We did that on Sunday after the karaoke. There was still sunlight, and that was my idea, and that was being posted. We were going to do that on Saturday, but we didn't have time. And I thought, oh my God, it's never going to happen because we're never going to have time. But on that Sunday, we finished everything early, actually. So they said, so let's go there. And then we went. I had two informers there, one of them being Joanna, of course. And we arrived there, and I inverted roles a little bit. I became the interviewer. I started interviewing people online. Thankfully, they also edited that in a way that it did not look like the posters came from the walls. Also, I think that part came perfect. It lasts just long enough to show that the fans are crazy to camp outside, but they're not. It's not a freak show.
And so now, like that, all the teasers for each of you have been released. Are you guys getting bombarded with friend requests on Facebook and everywhere?
I am. At least I think every day there's some like 3 or 5 new requests. I think I accept most of them, and then I immediately invite them to like my page.
I'll include a link to your page, as I know you have a page now. Doesn't Bismarck have a page too?
No, he doesn't, but yeah, maybe he should. No, I'm afraid because of the creepy guy that filmed me on the street with Bismarck.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else like that you want to talk about with the experience? This whole big crazy experience that you've had? Wonderful crazy?
Yeah, it was wonderful crazy. I felt what it was like to be part of a film set for a few days. It was not only filming, but like I said, the entire 6 days felt like one day for me. I would go to bed, even in the day that we finished early, like that Sunday. I wouldn't get to bed. I wouldn't catch sleep until 1 or 2 in the morning. And by 10 a.m., they were all knocking here anyway. And there was a funny story. They wanted to go to a club in Berlin, and because it was already Sunday evening, I said, well, I think you don't have too many chances of getting to Berghain, but you can go to Kit Kat Club. Just be prepared that what you're going to see there cannot be unseen. And somehow they told me that they actually got in Kit Kat Club on a Sunday, and they enjoyed it, and it was pretty much what I described to them. They cannot unsee. But 10 a.m. Monday, they were here to shoot a little bit more. And the rest that was missing.
So they probably didn't sleep very much that night, if at all.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe they were still on whatever they took at the club, whatever someone gave them at the club.
Yeah, I don't even know I just said I was there with a friend in September 2017, so the previous year, and we went on a Friday, and the couple in front of us didn't get in because they didn't know the name of the party, and they started to argue with the bouncer. There was just enough time for me to Google the name of the party. So when they asked us the name of the party, I said, "What's that?" And okay, get in. So I just told, I don't even remember anymore. It's a Friday night party. They rotate, I don't know, some 4 or 5 parties every week. So, but I just Googled and I said, okay, this is the one for today. And I naturally said it and got in. And I told them, well, it will probably help if you know the name of the party, if you know the name of the DJ who's playing or something like that. And I guess they just did that little homework and got in.
Good tips to know if you want to get into Berghain.
The Berghain is more complicated. It's full of these mysterious, subjective signs that they look at you and they start judging you from the moment you get into the line. But it was easier. It's just know the name of the party and that's it.
In the 3 years I lived in Berlin, I never went to Berghain. I can't believe it. And so next time I come back, hopefully someone, because no one would go with me. Like I wanted to go like early in the morning or whatever to try to get in because I didn't want to wait on a 3-hour line or whatever it is. One day I'll go back and, you know, I hear that there's a lot to be unseen there too. So, the dark room or whatever it is.
Don't go there. But yeah, go in the morning, like 6 in the morning. There's even a Instagram profile now called Berghain Line Live, and they keep updating how's the status of the line and rejection rates and something like that. Usually Sunday morning they say that people get in. It has less hassle to get in, less rejections and everything. There's no line, stuff like that. I also stopped going there. After I moved in here, I started getting rejected. When I used to come here as a tourist, I never got rejected. And then when I moved in here and I started getting rejected, I said, maybe I should bring my Anmeldung next time. Tourist.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Any sign off to everybody?
I don't know. Thank you to everyone. Hope you all enjoy Spirits in the Forest. There's a little bit of everyone's spirit in the film.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.